Hi guys and welcome to previewing week 33, bit of a different background this weekend. Sorry, I got a horrible cold, so I might sound terrible in this video, so I do apologise for that. Let's get straight into the kickoffs then. We start with the 12:30 kickoff, the Merseyside derby, which is Everton versus Liverpool at 12:30. Absolutely fantastic win for Liverpool against Manchester City in the Champions League on Wednesday. 3-0 up in the first leg. I wouldn't really want to write Manchester City off just yet, because the second leg is at home, and the way they've been this season, who knows? So that's going to be a really, really good tie to look forward to, actually. Going into this game, I think Liverpool are going to absolutely be buzzing with confidence. Derby's never easy, to be fair. Everton's been poor this season. I've said that in these videos. Someone else has fairly done a good job. He's kept them in the top half of the table. But I just think that Liverpool, even though it's at Goodison Park, I think they're going to be far too strong for Everton. I think Liverpool will see a lot of the ball, and I think Liverpool will nick it. I'm going to go Everton 1, Liverpool 2. I think it's going to be a really, really good game to watch, actually. As I say, Liverpool, if they buy in a couple of more players in the summer, I think that we could be sitting here this time next year saying, how Liverpool are that close to closing on the title. They're really, really starting to look like a really good team now. So we'll see what Jurgen Klopp's got up his sleeve for the summer. We now go to the 3 o'clock kickoffs, and we have Stoke versus Tottenham. Obviously, Tottenham, they're trying to get away from Chelsea, in that top 4. Again, another fantastic win for them last week against Chelsea. Chelsea just absolutely crumbled in the second half, and I know it's at Stoke, but Stoke's had a really, really piss poor season as well, and I think that Spurs will win this quite comfortably. Again, it pains me to say, but I think again we could be saying the same for Tottenham next year. There could be a real deal next year as well. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to go Stoke 0, Tottenham 2. We then have Watford versus Burnley. Yeah, it's going to be a really, really. This was a really, really hard game to predict, actually, because Watford and Burnley are them kind of two funny sides. You just never know what the two sides are going to turn up to. But I think it's going to be one of them stuck in midfield kind of games. So I'm going to go Watford 1, Burnley 1. We then have Brighton versus Huddersfield. Again, two teams that came up from the Championship. They've stood the ground a little bit. I don't think they're, of any danger going down. To be fair, I think there might be like 5, maybe 8 points clear, something like that. And I think this is going to be a really, really tight, tough game as well. Another game that's stuck in midfield. So I'm going to go Brighton 1, Huddersfield 1. We then have West Bromwich Albion versus Swansea. Two teams that are in desperate need of 3 points. Obviously Alan Pardew's been sacked from West Bromwich Albion. So they've got. I think they've got a caretaker manager now to the end of the season. Obviously Swansea are in desperate need of 3 points. It is at the Hawthorns, but I think that Swansea are going to get 3 points as well. I think they're going to get them quite comfortably. As I say, they're really, really piss poor this year. West Bromwich Albion, and I think that if Swansea takes the game to them, they can win this quite comfortably. So I'm going to go West Bromwich Albion 0, Swansea 2. We then have Bournemouth versus Crystal Palace. Again, this was another prediction that was hard to come up to, because I thought Crystal Palace did quite well actually last week against Liverpool towards the first half, and then when it got to halfway through the second half, it was like they just had no gas left. They just literally had nothing left in the tank. Obviously, Bournemouth's not going to be as strong as Liverpool. But I'm going to go for a really, really lively game in this one, actually. I think, two teams are going to go for it. But again, I know Crystal Palace are in desperate need of 3 points as well, which is why I'm going to go for the lively game, actually, because I think they're going to go, searching for the game, and I think that Bournemouth will capitalise on that. And, I think this could be a game that's one of the games for the weekend, actually. I think it's going to be quite lively, actually. I hope. We have Bournemouth 2, Crystal Palace 2. So I've lost myself. Then we have Leicester versus Newcastle again. Two teams that are really quite strange as well. Leicester can have them days that they're blitz defenders, and like Jamie Vardy and that, they just can't keep up with them. And other days that he doesn't even touch the ball. I think Newcastle's kind of like the same. So I'm going to go for a funny result on this one as well. I'm going to get a bit of a stalemate in this one as well. I'm going to go Leicester 1, Newcastle 1. And then at 5:30 we have Manchester City versus Manchester United at 5:30. It's the title. It's title day. I can't see Manchester City fucking about in this one, to tell you the truth. It's title day. I think Manchester United's been quite poor this season, and yes, I know they're sitting second in the table. That's merely and simply because they do grind out results. Yes, that's the whole point of the game. But I think Manchester City are going to be far too strong for Manchester United. Again, I know it's a derby, but it's title day, which puts that extra 10% into your momentum. So yeah, I can't see Manchester City fucking about. To be fair, I'm going to go Manchester City 3, Manchester United 1. And we have to say fair play, to Manchester City as well. To be, in the situation at God, where the hell are we? 7th of April. 7th of April, and the title could be title could be won by tomorrow, which is like, it's unheard of, isn't it really? But there you go. But all you can do is praise it, really. But I'm hoping next year, I'll get more into this on the last video of the season. But I'm hoping next year is a bit more, a bit more entertaining. I'm getting a bit bored, of teams running away with it, like Manchester City. I can't remember the last time we had a really, really good, decent title race. I think the last time was possibly maybe when it was Liverpool. I think when Liverpool were in the title race, and it was out of Chelsea, Manchester City and Liverpool. And that was like 2014, so like 4 years ago. Like Chelsea were, about 8 points clear, the season after that. Then it was Leicester, then Chelsea again, Manchester City this year. So I want a really, really tough, title race next year. And I want Arsenal to be in a title race as well, So yeah, I'll get more into that towards the end of the season though. But I just wanted to mention that. Now we go to Sunday's kickoffs. At 2:15 we have Arsenal versus Southampton. Again, a good win for Arsenal against Moscow yesterday in the Europa League. I don't want to say typical because I'm happy, but it's like typical now, isn't it? That all that talk about Arsene Wenger going and his job's on the line. Now he's starting to get a couple of results together. It's like fucking hell, man. But in other way, I can't really complain because we do want results. But it's just like I just want him to go now. I just want a new manager. But I'm just worried that we're going to win that Europa League and that's going to secure his place. But we'll see. As for the game, yeah, Southampton are fighting for 3 points, but I think, again, it's at the Emirates. I think Arsenal should be, I say that in speech marks, they should be, too strong for Southampton. So I'm going to go Arsenal 2, Southampton 0. And then at 4:30 we have Chelsea versus West Ham. Bit of a derby there. West Ham in desperate need of 3 points. So they're going to come at Chelsea. Is that going to play into Chelsea's hands? Maybe, possibly. But I have took a risk, and I'm going to go Chelsea 1, West Ham 1. So that is my predictions for this weekend, guys, and I'll see you next week for next week's predictions. Thank you for watching, guys.